So listen, I do agree with you. We actually did talk about that as well. A win is a win, but it's hard to deny the presence of John Tortorella behind the bench. I think they missed John Tortorella a little bit tonight with the sloppy play.
Is it possible? Maybe. What I will say is, look, maybe Tortorella's presence maybe strikes a little bit of fear in their hearts, and maybe they don't go that lackadaisical for the first 35 minutes of the game the way they did. However, the flip side of that, and this was a theory that a few of us beat writers were bringing up as we were waiting for the elevator back up. The flip side of that is, I think one Morgan Frost might have benefited from there being no John Tortorella behind the bench, because no longer did he have the mean man ready to yell at him at every mistake he made. So instead, Morgan Frost plays loose, and I thought this was Morgan Frost's best game in a month. Like, he was peak Morgan Frost in this game, and not just because he got the points. He was taking over shifts. He was great on the power play even before he scored the goal. And I do wonder if the lack of John Tortorella being behind the bench ready to yell at Frost when he turns the puck over, I wonder if that might have helped Frost just a little bit in terms of confidence.
The fire torch.
Yeah, Charlie, no, I honestly, I don't know if that's 100% it, but the confidence I saw and maybe lack of fear of making a mistake, there was, I think it was a power play shift in the third where he's dangling near the blue line, near the top of the zone, and it's like, this is oh shit, what's about to happen? Is he going to get poke checked and we have a breakaway the other way? And he makes a series of moves that you have to be confident in. You have to be not afraid to make, and he made them. And I was like, oh, maybe there's something to this. He's not afraid of getting yelled at by Torts tonight. But since you bring up Morgan Frost, we mentioned him in a series of dudes who stepped up tonight. In the previous 3 games, they got goals out of Scott Lawton, Ryan Poehling, and Garnett Hathaway. Now, it's nice when those dudes produce offense, but if you're leaning on them, you're going to lose a lot more than you win. Tonight, Owen Tippett, 2nd goal in 10 games. Joel Farabee, 2nd goal in 18 games. Frost with the 2 points. He'd had no goals and only 5 assists in the last 11. What did you think? How big is it to have the guys that you actually count on for offense going, including TK, who it's only been 2 games, but no points since his return. Tonight, the 2 assists, that one huge one for the Tippett goal. How big is it for those guys to be going heading into this stretch?
Yeah, I thought that was the most positive development of this game for the Flyers, was the fact that when you play against a team that's way down the standings, like the Sharks, a team that isn't that great defensively, when that happens, it's the opportunity for guys that are on cold streaks to break it and to get going. And yes, this wasn't the best all-around game by the Flyers. They are fully capable and fully talented enough to beat this team 6-1. But the fact that this game at least lets guys like Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee and Owen Tippett feel a little bit better about their games going into a bunch of matchups against teams where they're going to need those guys to be scoring if they want to have any chance of beating teams like the Bruins and the Leafs and the Hurricanes and the Rangers. Like, they can't compete with those teams unless they're top-end guys. And the Flyers, the Flyers' inherent flaw, and I talked about it in the column I wrote today for PHLY, the Flyers' inherent flaw, which everyone knows from the organization down to the fan base, is that the Flyers' top-end guys, generally speaking, aren't at the level of the top-end guys of the true cup contenders. But their top-end guys are still pretty good. It's just they need to play like top-end guys if they're going to compete with the top teams. And I'm not saying for an 82-game season. I'm saying on a given night. They're going to need Joel Farabee, Travis Konecny, Morgan Frost maybe, but Owen Tippett definitely, Sean Couturier definitely. They're going to need those guys to be playing really well if they want to hang on and hold their own against the really good teams of the East. And this was an opportunity against a team that isn't very good in San Jose, against a team that isn't the sharpest defensively, for some of those guys to get going. Now, did all of them get going? No. The Flyers still have quite a few guys that are cold. Sean Couturier still, he shows flashes, and then he makes very un-Sean Couturier plays with the puck in close, where you're like, dude, I thought you grew out of this at age 23. but you are seeing guys like Morgan Frost maybe feeling a little bit better about themselves. Owen Tippett getting a big goal. Joel Farabee scoring on a breakaway. And maybe, just maybe, they can carry that over into Thursday's game against the Leafs, and then beyond over the next week and a half after that, when they're going to be playing against a good team every night.
We all silly like the mayor.